In Canada, if you're a jabron that decides to break into somebody's home, the Canadian law says that the homeowner is allowed to defend themselves. However, their actions must be proportionate to the threat that they face. So, in the midst of a robbery and being awakened at 3 a.m. with your adrenaline pumping large, you have to negotiate with the intruder. Like, hey, what kind of weapon you got? Oh, it's a knife? Okay, hold on while I get mine. Or, you're not armed? Okay, stay there so I can punch you in the face. And then, of course, you'll be charged with assault, go to jail, and who'll have to pay all your legal bills? You. And God forbid that any of my actions would ever seriously harm you, because then you gotta be airlifted to the nearest hospital with serious, life-threatening injuries and receive round-the-clock, top-notch health care costing thousands and thousands of dollars, paid entirely by you. That's why, when it comes to protecting yourself, your family, and your property, there's no place like... Hey, pretty soon, I'm gonna start selling my unvaxxed spermatoza for $3,500 a load. A young newlywed couple wanted to join the local church, and the pastor told them, "We have special requirements for new parishioners. You'll have to abstain from having sex for 2 full weeks." The couple agreed, and then they came back at the end of the 2 weeks. And so the pastor asked them, "Well, were you able to get through the 2 weeks without being intimate?" The guy replies, "Pastor, I'm afraid we weren't able to go without sex for the full 2 weeks." "What happened?" inquired the pastor. "Well, my wife was reaching for a can of corn on the top shelf and she dropped it. When she bent over to pick it up, I was overcome with this lustful desire and I took advantage of her right then and there. You understand, of course, that this means that you both will not be welcome in our church," stated the pastor. "That's okay," said the young man. "We're not welcome at the grocery store anymore either." Did you know that pooping for an average about 10 minutes each workday equals to about 40 hours of paid vacation each year? Poop lots, my friends. What you talking about, Willis? Hey, it's been one hell of a hot summer overall. I called my ex just to feel a cold shoulder. A pastor's wife was expecting a baby, so he stood before the congregation and asked for a raise. After much discussion, they passed a rule that whenever the preacher's family got expanded, so would his paycheck. So, after 6 children, this started to get expensive. The congregation decided to hold another meeting to discuss the preacher's expanding salary. A great deal of yelling and bickering ensued as to how much the clergyman's additional children were costing the church and how much more it could potentially cost. After listening to them for about an hour, the pastor rose from his chair and he spoke, "Children are a gift from God, and we will take as many gifts as he gives us." In the back, a little old lady in her frail voice says, "Rain is also a gift from God, but when we get too much of it, we wear rubbers." Baldwin. That's a cool name. It's the opposite of hair loss. Tony Toons, true or false game. Life is short. False. It's the longest thing you'll ever do. Hey, I don't sugarcoat shit. Who am I, Willy Wonka over here? When I die, I don't want anybody at my funeral. I'll come and visit you. You know, it was only when I finally bought a Harley motorcycle and drove at 160 that I found out that adrenaline is brown. What you talking about, Willis? If money really did grow on trees, what would be everyone's favorite season? Fall. Hey, you know when Donkey followed Shrek home and just kept talking and talking and talking? That's what it's like having kids. They say that fluoride is good for your teeth. That's why the government puts it in our brains. It makes me wonder why they don't just put oil of Olay in the water so we'll all have baby soft skin too.
The Tony Tunes Weekly Words of Wisdom.
Don't try this at home. Try it at a friend's house instead. I'll let you know. I don't want to go, but I don't want to say no either. Fuck! The only word in the English language that can form a grammatically complete stand-alone sentence. Smonday. The moment when Sunday stops feeling like a Sunday and the anxiety of Monday kicks in. To all of those people that complain that the food in commercials looks much better than in actual reality, go look at your profile picture and then look in the mirror.
If you smell!
When you're on the toilet and you realize that you forgot your phone. I like my women like I like my pizza. Hot, spicy, and still there for seconds in the morning. I've been dating this English teacher for a little while who keeps correcting my grammar during sex. She seems to get particularly annoyed with my improper use of the colon. It's time for the Canadian edition of... Yes, but actually no. Sorry. How does a Canadian say no? I went to a job interview the other day, and the interviewer asked me that ever-important question of, give me an example of a difficult scenario and how you handled it. So I thought for a moment and I said, well, I poured myself a bowl of cereal one morning, but then I realized I didn't have any milk, so I used ice cream instead. Customer calls a tattoo parlor and he asks, hi, does it hurt to get a tattoo? The tattoo artist says, depends on the area. Customer, well, I'm in Toronto. Hey, I'm not a Haitian by nationality, but I will completely and most definitely eat your kitty. Ask your doctor if a drug with 15 pages of side effects is right for you.
No.
The correct terminology for gluten-free, sugarless vegan brownies is compost. If you see someone over 50 out in public after 10:30, they 100% took a nap earlier in the day. Always. And I mean always remember that Big Pharma is your dealer, not your healer. You know, I always looked at hitting a baseball a lot like living my life. I just look for the fastball and adjust to everything else.
If you smell!
Have you ever wondered where they get the seeds to plant seedless watermelons? And now it's time for... a hoe. A long-handled gardening tool that can also mean an immoral pleasure seeker. Isn't it weird how when a cop drives by you nowadays you feel paranoid instead of protected? Doc, said the young man lying on the couch, you gotta help me. Every night I have the same horrible dream. I'm lying in bed about to go to sleep when all of a sudden 3 gorgeous women come out of nowhere and start tearing all of my clothes off till I'm completely naked. Psychiatrist nodded. And so what do? Well, I push them all away. I see, said the doc, and what is it that I can do to help you with this? The patient exclaimed, please, doc, you gotta break my arms.